So it's officially off season. And off season means I got 3 months to get my ducks in a row before the next season. Wedding season, I should say. And as a business owner, my main job is 2 things. I have 2 main jobs as a business owner in general. I first need to create a demand for my products that people want to purchase and consume. And then the second job will be to develop the product so that people are happy to consume it. So in the wedding DJ game, that pretty much means I need to build demand to be able to sell work and book weddings. And then I also need to find and develop the talent so that the DJs can go out and do those weddings that get booked. Today, I want to talk about the first. One of the biggest things for my business is figuring out how to constantly increase the demand for what we do. And it's been challenging. It hasn't been challenging because I'm based in Des Moines, and our work in Des Moines and Iowa as a whole is fantastic. 10 out of 10 would recommend. We have a great reputation. People find us on social media if it's not from a recommendation. And SEO is kind of doing some different things for us in Central Iowa as well. So everything is hitting on all cylinders for the most part. But we have 2 different locations. We have the Des Moines location and the St. Louis location. And honestly, outside of the locations that we're physically located at, we want to kind of just move into a Midwest company. We want to have a core group of guys whatever city they live in, and be able to do work in a bunch of different cities because our demand is just that high. So we want to be able to go to, Omaha, Nebraska, Minneapolis, Kansas City, St. Louis. We're not going to mess with Chicago. But some of those major Midwest cities, because they're close enough to St. Louis and Des Moines for us to easily get there. And my thought process is the more markets that we can establish ourselves in, the more potential work that our DJs can do. So the test run of this is trying to revitalize St. Louis, because the story goes, my dad started a business in St. Louis when I was little. I grew up around the business. My dad taught me how to DJ. I went to college in Iowa State, decided to stay in Iowa, expanded the business in Iowa. But at the same time, the business was expanding in Iowa, the business was dying rapidly in St. Louis, to the point now where we have no reputation and we don't have any consistent work that comes in St. Louis. So for the last couple of years, we've been trying to rebuild that, but it's been hard. It's been hard, and I finally decided that it has to do with our website. The problem has to do with the way that we structure our website, our visibility, because we basically have all the visibility in Des Moines, no visibility in St. Louis, and social media allows us to get some work trickled in here and there. But I think our business isn't structured properly online for people to be able to easily find us and figure out that they want to work with us, because they need to find us first before they can't figure out that they want to work with us and see that we have a good product if they can't find us. So we're not being found in St. Louis. And with that, we're not doing work in St. Louis, so we're not building a reputation with different vendors in St. Louis, because we're not meeting them in the field so that they can see how good we do. So the basis is to try to get more visible in multiple different cities, even outside of St. Louis. If we're gonna try to be visible in Omaha and the Twin Cities and Sioux Falls in South Dakota, Kansas City, Missouri, then we need to do something more structured to be able to make it work. And so I just met with a copywriter earlier today, and I'm headed to a coffee shop in Des Moines to meet with a marketing agency to see what we can do with the website so that we have better results with SEO, and then we can build on top of that with our social media activity, advertisements, different things like that, and see if we can get the ball rolling a little bit faster. Yeah, that's it. See if we can get the ball rolling a little bit faster. Um, and from the preliminary meetings that I've had with the copywriter and the marketing agency that I'm about to meet with again, it sounds like there's a lot of different problems. Website's okay, but there's some different things we can do to make the SEO stronger of the website on the back end. And then we should probably be also looking into specific landing pages for each city that we want to do work in. The challenging thing about that is I want to be able to put authentic imagery and content from those locations. I don't want to just put stock stuff there and just say that we do it. So it's going to be pretty hard to gather content in Kansas City because we haven't done any work in Kansas City. But we have done some work already in St. Louis, Omaha, Minneapolis, the Twin Cities, Minnesota in general. So we should be able to use some of the content and probably gather it up over the next month to try to be able to make these pages alive and authentic. Find some reviews from different locations that we've gotten, because we do travel a little bit already as it is. I should say I travel a little bit. Everybody else on the team pretty much stays within the central Iowa region. Or if they're in St. Louis, they pretty much stay in St. Louis or come to Des Moines to help us out because there's overflow of work in Des Moines, which is crazy. But yeah, that's what's happening right now in my life, and hopefully I can figure something out. For sure. Yeah, so I just made it to the coffee shop. And I'm just thinking I got about 20 minutes before the meeting starts, and I'm just thinking about how hard business can be. It's not really hard, it just takes effort and work and strategy. You gotta really strategize about what you're doing in business. You can't just do whatever and expect results. So you use a lot of brain power just trying to think what's the best motion that needs to be had. Like, for example, I'm currently in a gear debacle because I really want to provide an elevated service, and I've been going to some concerts at really nice concert halls with really nice systems, and bass at those events have been really blowing me away. So I've been wanting to upgrade my current baseball system because it's kind of too small for what I thought it was going to be able to do. It's just a single 18 with a 9-inch. Of course, I have two single 18s with two tops, 9-inch speakers to accompany them, and they do a great job at my weddings. And nobody complains about my sound. Nobody ever gives me sound, and I get compliments on my sound system. But I just want more. I want more bass, and I want like an immersive experience with everything, from the lights to the sound, and to just the actual DJ performance. And the one thing I feel like I'm lacking is the sound, because because I want that deep bass to kind of just swallow you up on the dance floor. I want you to feel the bass hitting your body as you're dancing to it throughout the night. And my speaker system just can't do that. And so I've been thinking, I'm like, okay, what if I upgrade my current system to the double 18 ZB28 system that Baseballs has with their Diamond 12-inch coaxial speakers? But that system, I mean, brand new, I would spend 17 to $18,000 on it, and then I would need a cargo van to be able to use that system. And I'm like, cool, I can make that happen. But is that what the business needs right now? Because outside of myself, I'm also training different DJs to be able to do a bunch of different work in the Midwest. And so, should I really spend the $18,000 on that, or can I spend the $18,000 on building a new website and buying multiple different column arrays speakers that are more affordable than that $18,000 speaker, but also still get the job done? Like, I've come to really love the RCF Evoc 12 system for the DJ system that a lot of my guys use on the team because it's powerful. That bass hits hard, and I can get it cheap. I won't say cheap, but inexpensive. I mean, a lot of people have been selling those bad boys used because of the other systems that have been coming out in the market. And so I've been buying, a bunch of RCF systems. So two RCF Evoc 12s for like $4,500 as a pair, I should say, not a dual, as a pair. $4,500, $5,000, and I'm like, okay. So if I take $18,000 and spend it on a new system, that'll take away from three different speaker systems and some change that I could use to develop and send more DJs out to work weddings. And I don't have three different DJs right now that I'm training. I don't even got the work to add three different DJs on the team to be able to do a bunch of work in that way. So it doesn't really make sense to do it, but still kind of thinking, I'm like, I could do other things in the business with that money, especially like I've coupled up a couple of the Evoc 12 systems. So I'll bring like four of those subwoofers and just two tops to try to, bring more bass to events. And those things hit hard. I mean, I think those things, each speaker is like 130 dB. So coupled up as a pair, it's already 133 dB, and now you got four of them. You're doubling the sound again to bring a 136 dB sound to the event that you're at. And 136 is pretty much where I want to be, and I really have enjoyed that sound when I've brought out four subwoofers. The ZV28, one singular one is, for perspective, one singular one is 134 dB. So coupled up, if you buy two of them, which will cost $12,000 to buy two of these subs, by the way, it'll be able to do 137 dB. So it's louder than the four speakers, and then it goes significantly deeper as those speakers can only go down to 30 hertz, as whereas the ZV28 double 18 speakers that I've been looking at go down to 23 hertz. So they're louder and deeper to try to create that really immersive feel that I want. At the same time, though, I already got an RCF system that nobody's using right now on the team, and I could just buy two more subwoofers to couple with that system for $2,000 extra and have a similar sound for what I'm trying to create and save, the $15,000 and put that somewhere else to the business where I can, continue to build it strategically, and I could put the money towards hiring a marketing agency to rebuild my website, and maybe I'll just have to push. Maybe I'll just have to push back my dream of. Because forget, I mean, the system at 18K plus, I need to buy a $10,000 cargo van. So I mean, this is a $30,000 sound system that I'm pretty much investing in. And, I can fit four subwoofers of the RCF Evox into my SUV currently. So I'm like, $2,000 for the sound that I want, or $30,000 for the sound that I want. And, it definitely makes more sense on paper. It definitely makes more sense on paper to do the $2,000 option since I already got the speaker. It will technically be a $8,000, $7,000. Because if I'm buying a pair of Evoc 12s for $5,000 per se, and then I spend $1,000 for another subwoofer, so $2,000 for two more, that'll be $7,000, $7,500, $8,000 after taxes to buy that system. I mean, compared to $30,000, that seems like the right move, especially because those subwoofers are so compact and it's easy to use. And the tops, they're a little harsh, but I mean, they get the job done if you can structure the sound right. So I've been kind of wrestling with the idea, like, do I just full plunge it and just say, hey, I'm getting the speaker system of my dreams, and then after that, I'll start making wise financial decisions for my business moving forward. Because that's the thing, I'm already training two different DJs now that won't be able to do work until 2027 because they're not going to be ready for 2026. So they're going to be training for a whole year in 2027. The speakers are already in place for them to be able to do work in 2027, and then in 2027 I'll probably take on 3 or 4 other new guys to train that year to then be able to. So it's not like I'm investing in speakers for anybody now. So new speakers will be for the next generation of DJs that come onto the team that won't even need the speakers until 2028, hypothetically. And so I'm like, do I just full send it this year to just get what I want now, and then we'll worry about trying to raise the. If I'm training 4 DJs, then I always think about it like, I spend whenever I'm training a new DJ, I spend about $15,000 to $20,000 on the system, depending on what kind of deals I can find. Because I usually like to buy everything used. Like I love buying used MacBooks. You can find fantastic MacBooks on Marketplace, and people are just giving them away. It's $800, $900, and they got good specs for what we need. They're a couple years older, but they got good specs. And I like to buy used speakers because usually people take pretty decent care of speakers. And so I buy used speakers, I buy used MacBooks. I don't really like to buy used DJ controllers because I've gotten screwed with like warranties and Rain not wanting to, repair my controller because I got it secondhand. So I got to go to a third party to build it or fix it, and they take 3 years. They don't even get back to you. They just basically steal the stuff from you. And of course, I buy all my wires full price retail. Buy my lights retail, and it all comes out to be about $15,000 to $20,000, give or take. It's usually more so in the middle, closer to $17,000. So if I'm training 3, 4 different DJs in 2028, that means I'm gonna need to raise $60,000, $75,000 to be able to bring those guys on efficiently. And I'm like, I could get a head start, spend $2,000 on a speaker system, and then raise, save $25,000 this year, and then raise another $25,000 in 2027 so that I can bring the 4 DJs on. I don't even know if the business is gonna allow, because there's a verse in the Bible that's like, you can't plan for the. It basically says you can plan for the future, but you don't know what the results of the future are gonna be. So you can't just be like, I'm gonna go out and we're gonna do this business and this business in a year, in 2 years, because you really don't know how it's gonna shake out. But you can try to plan for it still. And since I'm trying to plan for it still, and the business is expected to grow, all the projections are saying that we're still in a growth phase of the business because of what we're doing. I'm just like, okay, do I gear up for that to bring on 3, 4 different DJs on the team? Or do I wait and maybe train and go slower, buy this dream system that I want now, and then in 2028 I'll just bring on, or I would say 2027 for 2028, I'll bring on 2 guys instead of 4 guys, and then I'll spend $30K in on a new system, and I feel like the business will be able to cash flow that pretty simply in season. When you got 6, 7 DJs doing 20, 40 weddings a year. Those are my thoughts, man. And so yeah, I guess I should get off of here because it's officially 2:53, and I'm gonna meet with Jules in a couple of minutes. So I'll let you guys know how this marketing meeting goes with my guy for sure. So my meeting's done, and I officially decided to go with the guy to make a new website for me and do some, behind the scenes marketing for the agency, and I think it's gonna go well. So I guess in a couple months when the new website's done, I will kind of talk about, the differences between the old website versus the new website and show some improvements that we're doing, and hopefully, the strategy is successful when it comes to building this business. So I'll see you guys soon and take care.